Hello, Giuseppe. How are you?
Servus, Walter. Many greetings from Japan.
Okay. What are we doing today? What should we speak about?
I was thinking, last time we met, we spoke about the hidden voices, hidden melodies in music. They are sometimes so difficult to understand or not so clear to grasp.
Yeah. Hidden voices, yeah, we should explain it. It's hidden in the secondary voices, yeah? Yeah, for instance, you know this yeah, but this is not cantabile like Bach said. We don't play da, di, da, di, da. It is, in fact, you see, we have here the second voice, yeah, is written here. And of course, according to the second voice, we play here. So this is the melody. And not. Yeah. But there are
many examples like this, like from the Volltemperiertes Klavier, the G major prelude is not, but there are two voices, same as the partita. So it's not supposed to be played. But the question is, why did Bach write 16 notes without, you know, the tenuto notes or the longer notes? This is an historical question, which is very interesting. The French composers used to write down all the voices very clearly, very strictly, so with real values. But German composers liked to write a little bit faster, in a faster way. There is a lot of evidence about this. There is a famous example by Bach himself, where he transcribed a piece by Couperin for his wife for the Büchlein für Anna Magdalena. And in this example, the left hand by Couperin is noted with real notes. This sounds like this. Which is legato. Yes. But Bach notated in the German ways. It was called the Deutsche Manier, which is much faster to write. The meaning is the same. We must consider that at that time, 300 years ago, until maybe 150 years ago, the training for musicians was not piano or cembalo or pipe organ alone. The training was composer. Everybody was a composer, so everybody was able to see a little bit more further behind the notes, you know, be able to read the line. So with even Anna Magdalena probably had no problem to immediately understand that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is a famous example, and there are many others by Bach's son, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, who wrote a wonderful book about keyboard playing and Türk and all this. There are a lot of evidence that it's supposed to play like that. So.
I can show you some other examples. For instance, it is written only. I mean, this is ridiculous to play it like it is written. You see, to write, just a moment, man. Piacis. And now this it's ridiculous. Of course, it is a hidden. Because it is the fugue, and it is the first thing. Because then you have the same in the right hand, yeah? He could play this in the second manual, for instance, yeah? Yes. So it's just an example for these hidden notes. But I have another one from Haydn, for instance. You know this E-moll sonata. Is here a hidden note? Like it is usually played. No, it is. Yeah, and there are also other examples. Maybe you know some more. Yeah, I think.
Polyphonic character of music, especially until the early Romantic, is very important. So there's almost never one single voice going on, but there are many different voices, more important and less important, which should be heard at the same time. Beethoven is a good example of Mozart. It's a similar example to the Haydn sonata that you just wrote in the F-dur sonata, the third movement. Of course, it's not. So the fifth finger also has the notes on the weak part of the beat. That's the topic that you spoke at the other video about accentuation. Accentuation is very important. So many of those small notes are on the weak beat part of the beat, so should be played much softer. So it's not. But this voice is not a main voice. It's just a part harmony, you know, and it's put by same as the toccata example that you mentioned. A very similar example is in the third movement by Beethoven of third movement of the Mondschein sonata, of the Moonlight sonata. Yeah. It's so often to be heard, like played like that. It's a nonsense. Sorry. For example, this is op 27. There is like next sonata, opus 28, the fourth movement, which is so nice. Beethoven wrote himself the fingering of this passage, which is interesting, as 2, 1, 2, 1. That's his hint. He means, please play legato, please play, don't play like this. So this is a clear example of how it should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear example of how should be. There are two voices, one steady voice and. So, this is a clear ex you know, a pastorale character.
Yes.
Another, the sonata before that, the Opus 26, the last movement. Everybody plays like it is legato, and there are two voices at the same time.
Yes.
There are many. Of course, everybody plays. This is a good example that's very intuitive, very clear how it should be. Every pianist play tam, ta, 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 because it's so clear to the ear and to the eye. But many other examples are much more subtle to catch. So Beethoven is a good composer that writes still in the German, the Deutsche Manier, in the German way. So a little quicker. Later, in the Romantic style, this style gets a little bit less important because composers tend to write more real notes. Also, the music is less polyphonic. In the Romantic style, it's mostly accompaniment and main melody on the right hand. So there is no need to write in the German way anyway. But especially for Mozart, from the Vienna classic, even Schubert, they write so many hidden melodies, which is actually very nice, a very nice exercise for pianists to search, to find out where are the hidden melodies, how can be taken out just doing finger legato or giving some accentuation to some melody. One last example is the Appassionata, the second movement, the variations. So if we play, there are hidden notes, hidden melody. So there are these appoggiatura. If we play, if we understand the slight syncopation and the slight appoggiatura in this accompaniment, it seems like accompaniment, it comes out immediately the main melody theme. If we play with pedal, it's something that in German we would say wischiwaschi, something that is not clear, that swings around. It sounds nice, but it's not Beethoven style. Beethoven doesn't have that fuzzy style of writing. He's always very clear. So it's a very good topic. We could go on for hours talking about this.
Because there is a certain influence of the tempo. If we play it takes more time than if to play. So it has an influence on the
tempo nuances are so important.
Einfluss auf das Tempo, ja. Samozrejme, ma taki vliv na tempo.
That's Czech, isn't it?
Yeah, this was Czech, but you can speak also. This is very important point. In Italian, we would say l'influenza sul tempo. Those hidden melodies influence the tempo also. And in Japanese, it would be tempo eno eikyo. Eikyo is influence. In Japan, there is a tendency to play everything more in tempo, you know, just very strict in tempo is. Every day I had to fight, you know, against this tendency. So these hidden melodies is a very good example
how they create a little bit tension and release within the melody. So tension and release change the tempo according to the music. So it's a very important point, very, very important. But why did the German composer started writing this more easier way? Why?
We have to speak why they didn't write it, because they had a goose feather.
The feather with the ink and the feather, then was more work and more difficult to write.
Yes.
Right.
So they tried to make it easier, so they didn't write sometimes another voice, because it was for every musician that time it was clear that there is a hidden voice.
And with the feather was more difficult to write many lines, especially to write dots. Dots were very difficult to write. Actually, were impossible to write a dot with the feather, because you break the feather very easily.
So it became a little line.
So exactly, the dot became a line. So there is no difference for dot and
it means
and
just
line. The meaning is very, very similar. So it's very interesting topic. Yeah, today we don't know anymore, because we write everything with computer, so it's very easy anyway. But at that time, there are so many nuances in the written score that's very difficult to really understand for modern musicians how was the music at that time. And there is the need of a good edition. So a very good edition that makes difference between dots and lines. So there are so many topics to talk about, Walter. I hope we will start a little bit a series of this kind of topics.
Yeah. I think it's for today we can end.
Okay, that's good. But we have good suggestions for. Thank you very much for suggesting these very interesting topics. I hope we will have the chance to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Walter.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Have a nice day too.